Hello, everyone, and welcome to KTAL News Now. I'm your host, Anthony Mocklin, and today is Thursday, which means it is weekend events here on KTAL News Now, where I'll be going through all the different happenings around the area, as well as community, local, and national events. If you're looking for some Thursday night entertainment tonight, we have Thursday night football over in the NFL in a game that should be pretty decent on paper, but these teams are not very exciting to watch for the most part. But, regardless, it should still be a decent game. But I'll give my take and all the previews for that game later on. But here on KTAL News Now, we like to do a bunch of different themed episodes for each day of the week. So, yesterday, for example, is our Wellness Wednesday, where we go into a variety of different health topics and news related to how to improve your life and apply tips to live a happier and healthier life. And Tuesdays are usually our Tech Tuesdays, where we go into all sorts of technology related news, as well as some space for all my astronomers out there who love space and want to gaze among the stars and see what's going on out there besides our planet. But you can view all of our previous episodes of those and more on our YouTube page at KTAL News. But like I said, we stream every single day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. on our website at ktalnews.com, which is also where you can get all of your local breaking and trending topics around the area. But speaking of around the area, well, let's just dive into the events that are going on this weekend, specifically for our East Texas viewers. If you live in East Texas, specifically Marshall, Texas, you'll know that they are having their art walk, and they previously had one in the spring in May, and it was a huge hit. It was a resounding success. It was just such a unique experience for the community to experience all the different art and artists that are available to them locally, and you got to see them physically work on their art in real time and demonstrate their creative process, as well as purchase some works of art that they made at the art walk. And if you're somebody who wants to get your Christmas shopping done early, now is definitely the time, especially in Marshall, who usually goes all out for the holidays with their annual lights for the holidays. And I've heard it is among some of the most beautiful things in our region, and I would always wanted to go. And hopefully I will this year. Hopefully I get a chance to. I would love to. But the art walk specifically, it is hosted by the Art League of Marshall, Texas, in partnership with Bear Creek Smokehouse. This is actually the second art walk that will be hosting at Bear Creek Smokehouse, and that is taking place this Saturday, November 8th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Bear Creek Smokehouse. And here to talk with us a little bit more about what to expect is KTAL's Joey Johnson, who got to cover the spring art walk back in May.
The Art League of Marshall hosted its first ever art walk. Local artists displayed their work in local businesses. Downtown Marshall was full of activity, and while this was a first-time event, there were people representing many styles, something the group president, Laura Merrill, is very happy about.
There's something for everybody. Artists for sale, and the beauty of an art walk is that you have an opportunity to meet the artist in person. We have 14 businesses that have opened up and are hosting 26 different artists.
While the show was about the Art League also featured musicians and vendors selling everything from soap and clothes to all kinds of treats to enjoy. But despite the success of the art walk, the Art League knows they still have work to do.
The Art League is open to artists and emerging artists for support, education, and promotion of art.
For information about membership or upcoming events, visit artleagueofmarshall.com or search for Art League of Marshall on Facebook.
And for more details and information about the event, you can visit our website at ktalnews.com. Like I said, the event this week is taking place on Saturday, November 8th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Bear Creek Smokehouse in Marshall, Texas. But one event that is happening here in Shreveport is the Christian Service Program's annual Poor Man's Supper. And KTAL's Mata Drain got to speak with Executive Director Al Moore to hear more.
We'll be having our annual Poor Man's Supper, one of our major fundraisers that we do. It'll be Sunday, November the 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. at 2346 Levy Street at our own location. We couldn't do it without the community. Tickets are only $20. It's a bowl of soup, a glass of water, and a piece of bread. That's a symbolic meal to let individuals know how people actually go to bed being hungry. But think about it. You can't do anything being hungry. You can't study, you can't work, you can't function, you can't do anything. So Christian Service has been around in this area for 55 years. Sister Margaret started this ministry in 1970. So we do 2 hot meals a day, 364 days a year. Only day we're closed is Christmas Day, and breakfast is served from 8 to 10, and lunch is served from 12 to 2. So we're asking the community to please come out and support our annual Poor Man's Supper.
Yes, because this will go directly to you guys, and keeping these meals going, this is definitely something that is needed for our community. Talk about, the impact that you've seen throughout the years of this organization and just, being able to provide those meals.
Yes, ma'am. We do an average of 1,500 to 1,600 meals a week, over 9,000 meals a month. Individual will come in 7 days a week and get a hot meal. And just to see a person come in with their head down and leave with their head up because they got a hot meal, it really has had an impact with the government being shut down, that we're seeing more clients every day. At the beginning of the month, we didn't see as many clients because they had resources. But in the last few days, we have seen an increase of clients coming to get a hot meal.
Okay, and we definitely want our audience to help you guys out on this. So how can we go and get those $20 tickets?
You can call our office at 318-221-4857, or you can go to our website at christianservicela.org. But we're located at 2346 Levy Street. This Sunday, 5 to 7 p.m. is our annual Poor Man's Supper.
And for more information about the event, you can visit our website at ktalnews.com. But one other event that is happening for all my sports fans out there, if you're a parent who wants to get your kids involved in sports, and specifically soccer and volleyball, the HBCU Athletic Conference is hosting their championships this week and next. And they're starting off with the men's and women's soccer championships, and that is taking place right now from now until tomorrow, Friday, at Lee Hedges Stadium in Shreveport. And the volleyball championship will take place starting this Sunday, November 9th, and run all the way to Wednesday, November 12th at Bossier Parish Community College. And for more information on that, KTAL's Susan Curtin got to speak with the director, Kiki Baker-Barnes.
We are so excited to be here. First, I have to say thank you to the Shreveport Bossier Sports Commission team, who has so graciously decided for the last 3 years to host all of our championships. We've got soccer here for the very first time. It's been going great, and part of what we like to do is make sure that we're doing community engagement, and so part of that are our partnerships with clinics that we do. So tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow we'll be hosting our first soccer opportunity.
That's Thursday, 4 p.m. North Sports Complex.
You got it,
okay.
Yes, and we're excited about that. We're doing that partnership with Cumbre Alta. It's a local soccer club that helps young kids get exposure to soccer. So our student athletes in our schools will be participating with them. It's going to be amazing.
And then we've got volleyball coming up Sunday the 9th, and you've got a couple of different clinics.
Absolutely, yes. We'll have 8 teams here who will be here to work with young girls who are interested in playing volleyball and going to college. It's going to be a great time. We'll be at the YMCA, and I think one of the Lash Family YMCA. I think there's one more facility.
The BHP.
The BHP,
off the Parkway there.
BHP, yeah.
So it's incredibly important for you to bring your families to this event. Let those younger kids see and be around these really, really top athletes competing at the top of their sports.
Yeah, and they can get their questions answered.
Right.
It's an opportunity for them to learn about college and what it takes to be a college athlete and compete and do academics as well.
Well, it's incredibly empowering, and it's got lots and lots of information for people who are not only in the sport, but people who might even be thinking of getting into the sport.
That's right, and we're excited about it. So we hope you'll come out. We hope the community will come out. Bring your kids. The clinics are free.
I know.
So it doesn't cost anything. So we hope you'll sign them up, bring them out, and get the opportunity to be exposed to these colleges, these student athletes, and it's good stuff.
And for more information on that, you could visit our website at ktalnews.com. And for tickets, you can go to the HBCU AC Tournament Central to get all of your tickets and for more information. And if you haven't heard, KTAL does this initiative every single year where they nominate remarkable women around the area. And that initiative has just started as of yesterday. And nominations are now open. If you want to submit a remarkable woman in your life, now is the time. All you need to do is scan that QR code right there, and it'll bring up the website, and you can nominate whoever you want. And this is an initiative that aims to honor women's influence on public policy, social progress, as well as quality of life. If you have anybody in your life, don't hesitate to reach out and nominate them, because it comes with a bunch of perks, even if they just get nominated. And we'll go into that in a little bit, but the initiative as a whole is done by Nexstar Media, which is a nationwide initiative across all of our sister stations. And they eventually culminates with a selection of a Woman of the Year across the entire country. And that is selected from all of the remarkable women nominations from all the different stations across our country and our networks. And if you have nominations, like I said, if you want to nominate somebody, nominations are now open from now until Friday, December 29th. So get your nominations in before then. You have a little over maybe like a month and a half to do so. So I highly encourage you. All you have to do is scan that QR code right there. And the way it works is that a panel of judges will select 5 local women as finalists for the KTAL Remarkable Woman for 2025 to 2026. And again, this is to honor women whose lives exemplify community impact, personal achievement, innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit. And if you have somebody that fits any of that criteria, like I said, all you have to do is scan that QR code and nominate them and just show them that they should be honored and recognized on not just a local, but a national stage as well. Because if you want to nominate that, they are selected across the entire country. So if you have somebody that you want to nominate, now is the time. But I hate to break this to people, self-nominations are ineligible. So don't do it yourself. Get your family or your friends to nominate you and explain why. State your case to them. And if you want to be on this national stage, it is a great, great opportunity. And all of the funds raised and everything like that goes to a good cause, a nonprofit of the nominee's choice, which Nexstar Media has pledged to donate and help with. But for KTAL specifically, our station, we will introduce our top finalists in March. And we will introduce each and every one of them every Tuesday throughout March, which is also Women's History Month. So we will have a grand showcase for each of the nominees that get selected and the finalists in our competition. And like I said before, these across all of the stations, there will be a total of 125 finalists that will be honored at an awards dinner and ceremony in Nashville, Tennessee. And this is all completely paid for if you're a nominee. That's including round-trip airfare, hotel stays, transportation, and you also get access to special events as well with your fellow nominees. And this also includes national and local media recognition across all of our platforms, all of our broadcast stations, social media channels, you name it, everything. You'll pretty much get plastered everywhere just showing what you do and why you are so amazing. And you'll also be supporting your favorite cause and charity while doing so. And this also includes a potentially nationally televised TV spot on the CW, on a special on that network. So, there's a lot in store that could potentially be heading your way. And like I said, with the charities, Nexstar pledges to donate to any of the nonprofits that the nominees select, and all 125 nominees, regardless of if you win or not, they will all each get a $1,000 donation from Nexstar to a nonprofit of their choice. And with the 5 regional finalists that get selected, that also comes with another $5,000 donation to a nonprofit of their choice, as well as a $125,000 media package promoting their cause. So that is a lot of money to be earned with this initiative. And the one woman that gets chosen for the Woman of the Year across all stations will get a $25,000 donation from Nexstar to that nonprofit, as well as another $125,000 media package. And that totals, for those counting at home, that is a $250,000 total media package worth of getting your name out there, promoting your cause, your charity, whatever nonprofit you decide to go with. And all the money, like I said, goes to that good cause. So, like I said at the beginning, all you have to do is scan that QR code and nominate a remarkable woman in your life. But looking ahead to tonight in terms of NFL and Thursday night football, it really is not a great game on paper. We have the Las Vegas Raiders, who are sitting at 2-6 currently, and they are traveling to Denver, who is 7-2. They are among the top of the AFC right now, but we'll see what happens. The spread is not as big as I thought it would be, but with the Raiders almost coming back to beat Jacksonville last week, I think it is a little bit warranted. They had probably their best offensive output last week against Jacksonville. But as far as Denver goes, they scraped by the Houston Texans with an 18-15 win over them, but they were down late in the fourth quarter. They were down 15-7, and then 11 unanswered points helped put them over the top. But their defense is the main reason why they were able to stay in that game. They held Houston to under 300 total yards of offense, and it was a very traditional showing for the Denver Broncos on defense this season, because in weeks 7 and 8 against the New York Giants and Dallas Cowboys, they allowed a combined 56 points in those games. So the fact that they held Houston to 15 points and, less than 300 total yards, it was a very nice showing from them. And Bo Nix really did not do them a lot of favors, at least early on. He did help lead that comeback, like I said, but he was pretty shaky for the most part. He completed less than 50% of his passes for 173 yards, and he did have 2 touchdowns but 1 interception. And like I said before, they were down 15-7 in the fourth quarter, and he led 2 long drives with a touchdown and a field goal to put them up and win the game. But aside from that, they have been pretty solid this year. Like I said, they're 7-2 this year, among the top of the standings. But the Raiders, on the other hand, are struggling for the most part. They are 2-6 this season. And going back to last week's almost win against Jacksonville, they ended up losing that game 30-29. So they were just right there. They were so close. And a big reason for that was the play of tight end Brock Bowers, who they got back from injury, and he absolutely went off. He had 12 catches for 127 yards and a 3-touchdown hat trick against the Jaguars. So he was absolutely unstoppable in that game. And, as good as he was, they still couldn't get it done. Their defense essentially couldn't stop a nosebleed, unfortunately. And along with the offensive output for them, quarterback Geno Smith, who has been largely criticized this year for his play, he actually probably had his best game of the season, where he completed 29 of 39 passes for 284 yards and 4 touchdowns. Again, 3 of those were to his tight end, Brock Bowers, who has been a stud out of Georgia since coming into the NFL. But their run game let a lot to be desired, because they only had 57 total rushing yards in the game, so they really couldn't get anything working on the ground. And as I said before, their defense really couldn't stop anything. And it's pretty concerning considering that Jacksonville's offense is pretty average for the most part. At least they have been this year. So the fact that they couldn't stop them is very, very concerning going into this game, especially coming off of a short week after they just had that heartbreaking loss to Jacksonville. I don't think they can hang with Denver personally. I think they'll be able to keep things close, at least in the start of things, because if we've known anything from the Denver Broncos this year is that they are absolutely a fourth quarter team, as evidenced by last week's win against the Texans, where they led their comeback. They scored most of their points in that fourth quarter. So, I think it'll be close to start, but then Denver will eventually pull away. The spread right now is 8.5. If I had to pick, I would take that one, but 8.5 is always a very tricky number because that's at least 2 scores that they have to win by. I think they can do it, but will they? I mean, we'll see. I guess I would take that, but not with a ton of confidence. But what do I know after last week's Thursday night game with, an absolute doozy of a pick in that one. But, I'm just giving my take. This is not financial or betting advice by any means, but that's just, I think that Denver absolutely wins tonight. I just don't know by how much. If the Raiders can replicate last week's offensive performance, I think they can hang around in this game. But asking them to do that 2 weeks in a row on a short week after they just played on Sunday, on the road, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But I'm gonna stick with Denver here. That's just my take on things. But that's all I have today on today's episode of KTAL News Now. If you have any other events that you want to see shown on here that are coming up, feel free to reach out to me at amocklin@ktalnews.com. And you can visit our website at ktalnews.com, which is where we have all of your local breaking and trending topics around the area. And you can find all of our different events as well as the fall events that are happening and the seasonal events that are coming up. And that is all on our website at ktalnews.com, which is where we stream this show every single day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. I'm Anthony Mocklin. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.